All right, here we go. After a little bit of a delay, we are ready to deliver this week's golf subpar sleeves. But before we get going, at RLX Ralph Lauren, timelessness has been at the core since the beginning. Born on the course but drawing on the tradition of polo, RLX celebrates classic and iconic products that are meant to be loved and during the test of time while focusing on performance-driven design. By blending the sophistication of style with the precision of sport, RLX seamlessly blends performance wear and elevated sportswear. From sophisticated styles to the most technologically advanced fabrics available, RLX is the ultimate in functional luxury and provides pieces that are ready for whatever the conditions bring, both on and off the course. Ralph Lauren is the official outfitter of the United States Ryder Cup team and partner of the AJGA. Ralph Lauren is proud to continue its sponsorship of golf ambassadors Andrea Lee, Billy Horschel, Davis Love III, Devin Bling, Doc Redman, Jonathan Bird, Nick Watney, Sean Foley, Smiley Kaufman, Todd Anderson, Tom Watson, Trevor Werbelow, Troy Taylor III, Tyler Strafacci, and Zach Johnson. The RLX collection is available in select Ralph Lauren stores, exclusive private clubs and resorts, and online at ralphlauren.com. Whew, Sleeze, it has been a crazy few days, but we're together in Chicago. We've been all over the place. Schedules haven't really aligned. Some travel issues, all kinds of stuff going on, but we're back and we're ready to rock. We're gonna be heading up to Whistling Straits, new partnership with Golf Kohler. Gonna be playing some golf up there, maybe slanging some drinks, but it's gonna be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it too, dude. It's been a long haul to get here today. I had a great, I say great travel day. I had to connect. I was in Harbor Town down there for the Discover SC Cup, all the SiriusXM hosts. It was great. The event was awesome. Played two really good golf courses, Atlantic Dunes, and then today, dude, I got to play Harbor Town for the first time, which I'd
And
never played, which I loved, by the
it's
way. I
so
think
sick.
it's so fun. Like, you got to think more around that golf course than I think anything that I've played in a long time. And like, it's short, but it also, you hit it so short off the tee that you don't just hit wedges. I always thought it was like just wedge, 9 irons. It's a lot of like, for me, it was like 9, 8, 7s a lot of the day today. But dude, had a blast in that. So then I hop a plane, connect in Charlotte, Colt. I get delayed out of Charlotte, as I was telling you. So I was like, dude, I'm tight making this flight to Chicago. As I get out, I'm gonna make it, but it's still a snug fit. I walk out of the gate. First thing I see is like a full-on brawl at the
Oh
gate.
my God.
Yeah,
What?
dude. Yeah, it was fucking, I wanted to hang out and be like, oh, I kind of wanted to see it unfold and see how it all shook up. But yeah, there was like a full-on brawl right when I got off the airport. So, anyways, I humped it over to my flight and made it. But I was like, shit is going down here in Charlotte International. But we're here. We're in Chicago. We're heading to Kohler soon. That's going to be a ball. You just had yourself a big weekend too up in the large Apple. How was it?
Yeah. Real quick though, can you see why I kind of liked Harbor Town back in my day of playing?
Dude, yeah, and like, even like the first hole, even too. I'd heard guys talk about it. You talk about it, like it's that's not one when you got some nerves. Like you just want wide open spaces and you want driver and just hit it as hard as you can. That ain't the one. It was in really good shape too. I think this time of year, I mean, tough to beat. It wasn't too hot or humid or anything, but that place is fun.
I was leading there in 2012 through 36 holes and was so nervous on the first tee. I dead blocked it into the trees right off the tee and it dropped down and I had like 260 yards in.
Yeah, it could happen easy. I
Yeah.
mean, if you miss it left, it's out of bounds. So of course
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, all right, if anything missed right, and then there ain't a lot of room. You could see some oopsie daisies out
Yep.
there, but it's sick, dude. I mean, dude, I think we only played it at like 66 something, which
Mhm.
ain't that far off what it is, anyways. But it can be a good golf course without it be hitting
It's awesome. It's so cool.
235-yard par threes all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had myself a pretty awesome couple of days. I got a call a couple weeks ago, asked if I wanted to come up and help out with Tiger's event for his TGR Foundation called the Nexus Cup at Liberty National. And I'm like, yeah, of course I would. So flew up there, got there on Monday night. They had this incredible dinner, live auction. Michael Strahan was the main MC interview, who is fantastic, by the way. He is so good at what he does. Told some great stories about Eli Manning and his football days. But Tiger was there, Will Zalatoris, Ricky Fowler, Anthony Anderson was there, and then myself and Lucas Glover. But this event, man, they do. Shout out to Tiger and his team. They do an unbelievable job. Believe it or not, it's really nice.
Hard to believe.
It is it's a really cool event. you're a part of a 4-man team, but you play a different team each match. So it's you play as a 2-man team. So you split up your squad, and then you play a match play event against the guys. So I was out there. I helped MC the clinic a little bit that morning, and then went out and I had to hit about 25 5-irons on this par 3 all day. They were like, "Yeah, it's gonna be. We'll have the tee up. It'll just be short." Ricky Fowler was on one of the other ones. He was on number 2 at Liberty National. I was on 11. He's texted me. He's like, "How's it going over there?" I'm like, "Dude, this hole's like 168, dead back into the wind, back pin on top of this little shelf. I'm ripping 5 and 6 irons in here." I was like, "This is bullshit." He goes, "I'm chipping little wedges from 140 downwind over here too."
Yeah, he's
So
probably stuffing it every hole. You missing
yeah.
green. Did you hit any good? Like, and the people when they show up, like they want you to hit a good
So
one for them,
it was
every time. But it's like, probably not gonna happen, folks.
so believe it or not, I missed the green twice the whole time. It was actually I hit it pretty nice, but um, the format was each team got to choose what shot I hit for one of their guys. So if me and you are a team and we walk up in the pros there, it's like, okay, you can hit the shot for Colt, and then you play your own ball, or they could choose like wait till the green and then I putted. So I actually hit most of the shots. I putted twice because one of the guys hit it in there close, but man, it was cool. I've known Tiger for a while, but I haven't gotten to actually like sit down and talk like a lot like we did the last couple of days. It was really cool. Can't thank them enough for having me up there. But man, they do it right. But it is Liberty National too. It was a perfect day. Place is incredible. And then yeah, same thing. I didn't have quite the issues flying here as you did.
You didn't see any brawls?
Didn't see any brawls. I thought some people were going to get rather mad on ours a little bit because we landed in Chicago and a lot of people had connections, and we drove around on the runway for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's nothing goes. I've been traveling for about the last 7 days. Nothing ever goes according to plan, but I have avoided getting into any physical altercations at the airport. So props to me. Props to me on that for not getting in any fights. And props to you for hitting 5-irons all day. Think how sick you're going to be with 5-iron now, dude.
Yeah,
that'll be nice.
I don't like hitting 5-irons. So
yeah,
especially after a pretty big night, hitting 5-irons right out of the gate, I was like, oh boy. Can we maybe a 9-iron? It sounds a little better, a little easier, but it was cool, man. Really had a lot of fun up there with them, and we got a rather fun episode.
Can I ask you a quick thing, because we're going to get into the interview and it's all about football, or it's a lot about football. We got the season coming up, but do you want to speak on the Dak Prescott deal?
He's really rich.
I mean, is this a joke?
Now
dude?
He's insanely
60
rich.
M's a year for Dak. If he's worth 60, dude, what's Mahomes worth when his deal comes up?
Gazillion.
$100 million a year. I mean, he's miles better than Dak Prescott. He's making what does he make? 43, I think, a year. I don't feel bad for him. He's doing fine.
He's over 50 now, but
I thought it was 43 if it's averaged out over the course. But either way, Dak's rich as shit, and that's I mean, there you are. You're pot committed.
And the Cowboys balled out and just destroyed the Browns, who
they actually did look good. If you tell a dude 12 minutes before the game, hey, about to make you the highest paid football player in the history of football, you better go out there and play some good ball.
Yeah, but I'm trying to stay level here because I don't
like that. I don't want to
get all excited again and then we suck, but I like what I saw. There's no doubt about that.
I need you highs and lows, dude. Even keel shit not gonna fly as a football fan. I need you up, and then I need you way down, and then I need you back up again.
Well,
and then eventually down, of course, at the end.
We're going to take it 1 week at a time. Got the Saints coming to town next week, so we'll see what happens there. But I am actually invested in your Broncos this year at over 5.5.
As am I.
I kind of was wanting them to get one up there in Seattle in week 1.
I thought we would honestly, looking at the schedules, that's when we can get at Seattle is a little bit of a different animal for rookie quarterback first start up there. Colt, I am also, I don't know if we've disclosed this on here. I was at Castle Pines a while back with our upcoming guest here. And we got to having a few sitting around at night, and we got talking Broncos, and all of a sudden, all the talk around the table was so positive and all this stuff. And I was like, 5.5's the line, dude. Are we going over that? Every dude was like, yes, yeah. And I hit it for an amount I probably shouldn't have hit it for, but I've always been a big Broncos fan. I am an especially big Broncos fan this year. Every win matters. I'm not expecting a whole lot from the season, but dude, just get to 6. Yeah. 6 isn't that much to ask.
No, and like you, I got off to a rather shaky start in the football gambling. I started off 0-4. I was like, what do I do here? So Saturday morning, texted some of the boys and was like, who do y'all like? I'm letting y'all pick for me today. They picked Saturday. I roll it into Sunday. I believe I went 5-0-1 on my next 6 plays. We are so back.
So back. You got to shoot your way out of it. That's what I tell you. Steph Curry missed a few threes, dude. He's still a great shooter. You know what I mean? Right. You got to shoot your way out of it. I had a nice weekend. How about this? So I was running. You and I were talking throughout the weekend. I was like, things are going nicely. This is good. Roll it into Monday night. I decide to go Niner over for the game and Niners over their total points. Listen to this shit. So they both hit, and I'm celebrating. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I go in and look at my account. I accidentally bet the Jets over. And you've had to have done that before in your life, where you accidentally click the wrong one and don't catch it.
I don't know if I
pushed the wrong on the night, and I was just devastated. I was like, the heat train was rolling so smooth, and then I hit the wrong over.
I don't know if I clicked the wrong one, but I've definitely gone in because it was one of those nights where you're having time, and I woke up and I saw I made the same bet like 2 or 3 times.
That happens to me too, where I see like a line on like a Monday or for college or something. I'm like, oh, dude, I love that. And then like Friday night rolls around and I see it again. And I'm like, oh, dude, I love that one. And then next thing you know, you're doubled up.
Yeah. Well, let's get to our guest who has made a few questionable decisions also in his day, but he is one of the best. The Ragin' Cajun, Brandon Stokley, 2-time Super Bowl champion, joins us on Subpar.
All right, folks. Football season's almost here, and there aren't many golf and football gurus in the world, but we got one of them here with us today. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champ, the host of Stokley and Josh on Denver radio, the slot machine himself, Brandon Stokley. Stoke, how are you, big fella?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, football season's here, man. I'm fired up. And golf season's winding down, so we got a couple good tournaments coming up. So it's a good time of year.
It is, and we're going to get to some football. But we got to talk a little golf first because the PGA Tour, second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs is coming to your hood. Castle Pines, tell us about it.
I can't wait, man. Course is in great shape. So I got some good friends that actually have brought me out there a lot this year, which has been a lot of fun. So it's going to show great on TV. And they put a lot into that course here the last couple of years. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to watching those guys go out there and see them up close and see them compete. Top 50 guys in the world, playing in this. So a lot of big names, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I heard those changes that they made to the golf course. That was in an effort to Stokley-proof Castle Pines. Yeah. Can you confirm that?
It is. It's been confirmed. Yeah, I was, I didn't want to put it out there because I'm a humble guy. But since you put it out there, it is confirmed. And they did Stokley-proof it. They definitely accomplished that.
It worked?
It definitely worked. Yes, it did. Perfect. Yep. That rough is getting thick. And if we don't get rain, those greens will be nice and firm and fast. So it should show well.
Well, give us a little update on your game. I mean, last time you were here in studio, we had us a few pops. It was a lot of fun. Couldn't tell you what the hell we talked about, but I want to hear a little bit about your golf game. How's it coming along? You're coming off a little second place, you just said.
Yeah, big time performance. A 2-day member in the B flight, and we did pull off, which I thought was a mini miracle. My partner and I, we held it together for 2 days. We were second place after the first day. We shot 8 under. And then, could we hold that position the next day? And we were able to do it. So we locked down second. It's right up there for me with the 2 Super Bowl rings, the 1994 Como High All-District, first team All-District basketball patch I got on my lettersman jacket. So it's up there with those accomplishments for me. And so it was, but I got to say, I give myself a lot of credit. Because I felt like I carried my team, and you know what that like Colt, right? You carry Drew every day.
There you have
so I did, man. There's a lot of pressure in that thing. When you're, like a 9.5 index, and your partner, continues to hit the ball out of play, and there's no max. on there's no max score, but so it was a big accomplishment for me.
Yeah, I know what that's like when your partner hits it out of play on every hole. I remember thinking of a round at Pebble Beach a number of years ago where you and you still haven't finished Pebble Beach, bro. You're still going. You have not completed that round.
That was a rough round for me, Drew. That was a rough one for me. I think I've improved since then. We got to try this partnership again, bud. Can we try it one more time?
Run it back. Yeah, the Redeem team.
The Redeem team. Yes, I love it. The real Redeem team.
Rumor has it you hit so many golf balls in the Pacific Ocean, you actually rose the level of the ocean that day.
I can't confirm that.
Dude, we were on the stretch like 8, 9, 10, 11. Stoke likes to play a little left to right. Stoke, you still playing the left to right?
It just depends.
baby.
Whatever the hole calls for is the golf shot I play now.
True. Good point. Well, that day it was ripping, but it was freezing. It was blowing 25. It's all blowing straight to the ocean. I mean, Stoke was like down, and as we'll probably get to later, Stoke don't give up on a golf ball. That thing is never lost until they're teeing off on the next hole. And he was down there in the gorse. I was worried we were gonna lose him. He's like Spieth when he hit that shot, almost falling in. That was Stoke, but just looking for his ball. And it wasn't a tour event either. But the kid's got heart. I'll say that.
I try to grind it out, and that was a rough round. It was cold, it was windy, and my game wasn't very good that day.
But you're 9 now, huh?
Yeah, I'm right around the 9. So my game has gotten better. I don't know, Drew. Hopefully we get to play here soon, and that's on my schedule. So we'll see if you actually show up. But I'm just hoping that, you walk away with a different view of my golf game than you have now.
I hold you in the highest regard, Stoke, and you and I will team up in this upcoming match. We can get a couple competitors, maybe a good friend of yours. We'll put the wood to some people.
That's what I'm talking about. I love it.
I really cannot wait to hear the results of this match. Also,
We'll be the loudest.
Some cards being slung around a little bit, which we're going to get
Drew
to.
and I, because the BMW's here, right? We're going to be playing some gin. Drew has avoided me now. Every time I go to Arizona, it's like, I got to do this. I'm out of town. He's so busy now. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever it was, 6. I mean, the guy was always available, but now he's big time. Got the podcast. It's so hot and all this cool stuff going on, and he's never available anymore. And so he's got a lot more money now, but his availability has changed. And so I'm trying to get in those pockets because he was a good golfer, obviously still a good golfer, but his gin game sucks. So he's easy money on the gin table.
Wait, you have more money? You get paid for
He's
this?
so full of shit. There's not a guy we've ever had on the show more full of shit than Stoke. That's why he's so,
I keep it real. Your gin game is awful. And look, I'm probably honestly, because if you look at my gin game, it's probably a C. You're F minus. I mean, you literally
you haven't been a C student and shit your whole life.
You and the cards, I don't know. You just can't do well with it or something. I don't know. You're just not a good card player.
I love this. Can we please send a team up to film the gin game?
By the way, you play with Stoke, you get going late in the night, get a few pops in the young man. You need Rosetta Stone to understand. He gets that Cajun going. I'm like, he's talking shit, but I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying, dude. You got to put it in English if you even want to go back and forth with the banter.
Hey, and if you want to get on that, what last time we were at Whisper Rock, what was that? What did we play in between the sheets there?
Oh boy,
probably.
That game's terrifying.
Some good memories of that also.
Probably. Yeah, that game's violent. That's right up your alley. No skill in that. Just dumb luck. That's where you thrive. That's where you thrive. Let me ask you a serious question, Stoke, to get your take on this, because you're a golf guy, you're a golf fan, but you're really a football guy, right? But you watch golf, you keep up with golf, you love golf. You represent, I think, a ton of people out there. With PGA Tour, Live, some of the best players going different places, has that affected how much you're into golf in any way?
No, I love it. I still love it. There's still a lot of great names on the PGA Tour. Obviously, you had some bigger names when, you had all the Live guys that were still, they were still playing. But there's always great stories every single year. And you still have enough big names for me. And so I've enjoyed it just as much as I did 5, 6 years ago. So it hasn't changed my viewership of it at all. Now these guys on the tour are making a lot more money because of what's happened. Obviously, the PGA Tour had to step it up, and and they've done that. So I'm still a PGA Tour guy, and I love watching it every single week. It's been a lot of fun, and like I said, man, just give me some good competition and guys having to grind it out for 4 days and make the cut. I think that's a good aspect of the tour, and but I still enjoy it and I love it.
Yeah, you're a sports guy. I mean, I turned on the UFC fight a couple weeks ago in Denver, and there you were sitting front row, baby.
That's right. That was fun, man. Those guys are absolute maniacs, machines, and like the guys and the girls. Like they are just. I mean, you talk about tough, and just being that close to it, watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, it was impressive, and it was a lot of fun.
It's the energy in those buildings before those fights. It is insane. I mean, I went to Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz too. Like it was, I was nervous. It was crazy. I actually got to go and sit very close to where you did at one when Anderson Silva broke his leg on Chris Weidman, I think, and you could hear the bone snap. It was.
I want to do Vegas. I want to do a Vegas UFC fight, and so I haven't done that. I've done both here the last couple that they've had in Denver and had a blast doing that. So it's impressive though, like you're saying, Colt. It is like you get up there, it's a lot different than it is on TV.
Yeah, the walkout, like John Bones Jones when he had his song that he always came out to, "I'm Coming Home." I mean, the place just goes nuts.
It's my bucket list, like sports thing that I haven't done. Yeah, I feel like I've gone to most of them that I want to. That one, a big fight in Vegas. I'd like to see a boxing if they ever make any of the great boxing fights, which it seems like they don't anymore. But one of those fights in Vegas would be probably it. Does it rank up there for you in terms of like sporting events in person? Best stuff to see?
Oh yeah, it is, man. It is action and it's impressive, you know. So it was a blast. But I'm with you. I'd like to do one of those in Vegas.
It's different. It's so cool.
What are you tipping in right now on the scale, Stoke?
Hey, we don't talk about weight, man. We don't talk about weight on this
you're
thing.
probably like
hey,
185.
You know, I'm 48, man.
I know, but you're sharp. How do you think you'd do in that 185 division?
What's that?
How do you think you'd fare in the 185 division? UFC?
I don't think I would make weight in the 185 division. So, yeah, it gets harder and harder to stay motivated, to get up and get in the gym and to put that work in, right? You know, it's just like, do I want to have my coffee and lay in bed and get ready for my radio show, or go out and get a workout? And usually the coffee in bed wins out these days. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you're not going to get an argument from me. I love that. That is great.
I love it.
Speaking of your radio show, you've had a lot to talk about. Denver's buzzing right now. Bo Nix, baby. They are getting all fired up. First off, Sleeze, put your hand down.
Come on, baby. I've been on this guy since day one.
You motherfucked them so bad when they drafted him. You were hated it. And now you think he's the greatest thing in the world.
A reverse psych, dude. I had to motivate the kid. I know he would hear about it. And now look what we're getting out of him. He looks like a world beater.
Yeah, Drew, that's what you do, man. I mean, like, you're always one step ahead of everyone else, you know?
Thank you.
And no, but Bo's looked great, obviously. And we've seen, you know, I was out there every day at training camp, and he looks the part out there. Then you had to ask, well, how is he going to look in preseason games? And now he's checked those boxes, right? And so, you know, we'll see what it looks like in regular season. But so far, I mean, it's been impressive. It really has. He's checked all the boxes. You know, you look for, you know, all the little things. You know, getting in and out of the huddle, getting the play call. They haven't had to burn timeouts. The order of operations has looked great from him, and that's what's been impressive. Then he goes out there and he's made plays in the passing game. He's made plays with his legs outside the pocket, extending plays. So, I mean, he's flat out done it all. It's like he's had as good of a preseason as you could have for a rookie quarterback. And I'm sure, you know, I mean, we'll see what it looks like in the regular season. It's been I think he's played probably like 2.5 quarters. You know, that's it. He threw 9 passes in the last preseason game against the Packers. And so it hasn't been a big sample size. But with what we've seen, man, he's been awesome.
Yeah. Were you a fan when they drafted him? Were you a fan of the pick?
I was a fan of the pick because
Me too.
I missed what you said. You probably took a shot at me.
No, I said me too. Me too. I was always on board with this draft pick. Yeah.
No, but I was, because you had to draft a quarterback, and then where they were sitting at 12, you know, they don't have a lot of draft capital to move up and get a guy. And so I like the fact that they did take a quarterback in the first round. You couldn't try to wait and get that guy in the second or third round, or, you know, whatever quarterback that is. So, and then when I heard what Sean Payton was saying about him and how he did, that was his guy, and it was his guy. And so it's like, all right, Sean got his quarterback, right? And so now, you know, there's really no excuses here in Denver if it doesn't work out. And so I think that was a huge positive for me. And you had to get a quarterback.
I think the exact quote from Sleeze on the SiriusXM show
here we go.
leading into the draft was, "If they take Bo Nix, I'm done with them."
Wow.
It's literally the only guy I didn't want. But that's what I'm saying. It was just to motivate Bo, which he obviously listens to that show, heard it, and said, you know what, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up. And that's what he's done.
Prove him wrong.
Exactly. I'm going to prove Sleeze wrong. By the way, 7 drives so far in the preseason, 6 scoring drives. The only one they didn't fumble by the tight end, and he was moving it. I haven't seen Denver score like this in ages. With that being said, we'll get to the rest of the league too. Vegas has Denver 5.5 wins over under for the season. Right now you're betting. Where you at?
Look, before training camp started, I was under. I had them winning 5 games, and now I'm over. I mean, I don't know. I like this defense. Defenses look much better, and then offensively, it was all about the quarterback, and he looks competent. I think their coaching staff, they got a great coaching staff. Sean Payton obviously is a real deal, and they're going to really help Bo out. The offensive line should be a little bit better. The running game should be a little bit better. And then Bo, just like he's got the little things that's going to help him out early on. And he's a guy that can make plays from within the pocket, and he'll hang in there. And he's a guy that can make plays with his legs also. So I like the over. I'm taking over.
All right. Well, we just did more.
I love him.
We just did more Denver Bronco talk in this show than we have in the entire history of the show.
It's been a quiet few years for us. Let us have our preseason moment here.
Well, let's get to what we really need to talk about. The main event.
Talk about these guys.
America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, which I'll be honest, as a diehard Cowboy fan, Stoke, I'm not very excited about this year. I'm a little nervous with everything that's going on.
You should be. And especially when you look across the street at Philadelphia. What does Philadelphia done? They take care of their guys. All their
they spend
guys
money.
are paid and happy and ready to go out there and compete for a championship, right? You got a championship window in Dallas. You got to take care of your dudes. And your dudes being, CeeDee Lamb, and then you got Micah Parsons coming up here. And then, obviously the Dak situation and how much he's counting against the cap. You got to pay the guy. And certainly every year that you wait, the price just goes up. The players' leverage goes up, and then you get stuck in a situation like they are now. But this could have been avoided, 4 or 5 years ago when you were starting to do Dak's second deal there, right? And you put it to the back burner for too long then, and now you're paying the price again. But you got to take care of CeeDee Lamb, and then you're gonna have to redo Dak's contract also, and then you got Micah coming up here soon. So, but you look at Philadelphia, and they're paying their guys early. And that's just the right approach. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out there in Dallas. But this isn't what you want when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, right? No. You don't want these types of distractions. You don't want, your best offensive weapon to be missing all of a training camp. That doesn't help your situation out. So I just think, when you're looking at your Super Bowl window, right now you don't want to have this nonsense. And same thing goes for the 49ers. You got to get your stuff taken care of because you're trying to win a Super Bowl. And now you got this receiver situation with Ayuk. You got your left tackle not in camp. I mean, that's not what you want when you're trying to win a Super Bowl.
You're exactly right. And just one last thing about the Cowboys. I saw they just became the first sports franchise to ever be valued over $10 billion. But yet they spend the least amount of money of any team in the NFL.
You think Jerry will sell it?
God.
Think he's in the market to sell?
Never.
What are we doing?
Never.
It's so annoying.
But you just got to get out in front of this, and maybe that worked 10, 15 years ago, but that approach just doesn't work anymore.
Stoke, give us a couple, we kind of all know who the contenders are, right? You got Kansas City, San Francisco, Dallas, Philly. You could go down the list. Give me some, a sneaky team, one from the AFC, one from the NFC that you think maybe not they contend to win the Super Bowl, but going to way overperform expectations.
I think in the AFC, you look at a team like Jacksonville, right? Trevor Lawrence got paid. They took a step back last year after a really good first year with Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. Well, Trevor Lawrence just got paid. And I look at a team like that in the AFC South that's really not, all that scary. Houston, everyone's picking Houston now. Houston's going to be the darling. Houston's going to be the team that makes that run. But, what happens if they take a little step back? That division is wide open to me. You look at the Falcons. I really like what the Falcons have done in the NFC. They just signed Justin Simmons. They made the play and made the trade for Matthew Judon. So they're shoring up that defense. Kirk Cousins solid. They drafted, it seems like, offensive players in the first round the last, 3 or 4 years. And you got Pitts. You got a couple good receivers. You got Bijan Robinson, who I think is going to have a great year. So they've got some weapons around Kirk Cousins. Another NFC South division that you look around and you say, okay, this thing is kind of up for grabs. So I like Atlanta there. I like what they've done to kind of push their chips in the middle and try to go win that NFC South. And I'm going to go Jacksonville for a little bit of a sleeper there in the AFC.
Give me a thought, because he's got a lot of hype around him right now, but Caleb Williams being the number 1 overall draft pick, he's got some weapons up there in Chicago, and he has looked really good this preseason. Can they make some noise?
Yeah, I think so. But you're absolutely right. That's the thing, is you look at his situation compared to maybe a Bo Nix's situation. Well, the Broncos have a $53 million cap hit this year because of the Russell Wilson situation. So the great thing and the big advantage of having a rookie quarterback is you got, their cap situation, and now you can spend money elsewhere to help those guys out. And Chicago's able to do that. Denver wasn't quite able to do that this year. There'll be a little bit better situation next year, but they put some weapons around this guy. You look at the wide receivers with DJ, Keenan Allen, and then the addition of Rome Aduze there, and then Colt Kmet, tight end, who I really like.
Yeah.
So you got good weapons around the guy, and he looks the part. He does. He can make plays from within the pocket. He's really good about getting outside the pocket. But it was all about putting the right weapons around him, and they've done a really good job of that.
Yeah, that division's going to be very interesting because everyone's falling in love with Detroit. Obviously, the Packers making their move and Jordan Love. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
No, it is. It's going to be a really good division there, and so it wouldn't surprise me if Chicago makes a run at that division. I don't think they're there yet, but I do. I think they go out there and they have a good year.
Stoke, you know what they're saying out of Chicago? Word is Caleb Williams, most talent they've had at quarterback since Kyle Orton. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
By the way, shout out Kyle Orton's
I
wife.
would
It's her
ask
birthday.
you, Drew, who's they?
It's they, dude. It's a lot of people. It's mostly just all of Chicago. That's just the word that I'm getting out of the Windy City. Yeah. Most talent since, not more than Kyle, but since Kyle. Biggest talent.
Since Kyle. That's the last thing I thought I would hear today.
Yeah.
It's his wife's birthday today.
Oh, it is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Bridgie.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about it?
Wow. Didn't think Kyle Orton's name was going to get brought up on the show.
No,
yeah, Kyle.
No, that's like way too many times.
I love that
That's
guy.
how they split up the Chicago eras. Pre-Kyle, post-Kyle.
Oh, that's poor Kyle just taking shots
I love
at him.
Kyle. He's the best, dude.
He's just hanging out in the woods down there in
He
Louisiana.
just was catching some fish this past week. Oh, I got a question because we're kind of on the topic right now. Stoke. All right, the quarterback draft class, which we've been talking about. Caleb, Jaden, Drake May, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. They're not all going to hit. Just statistically speaking, it doesn't happen like that. Give me the most likely superstar and the most likely bust out of the group.
I think superstars, low-hanging fruit. Caleb Williams, I like what I've seen. But I'll go Bo Nix. I mean, I think he's been great. He's been better than advertised, and I've seen him every day at training camp. And so I'm going to go Bo Nix. The Broncos got a lot of heat for that. Sean Payton did, y'all drafted him too early. Sean drafted him way too early. You could have got him at 20, 22. You took him at 12. He's the sixth quarterback off the board, et cetera, et cetera. But that was his guy. And so I'm going to go Bo Nix. I really like what I've seen. He can make plays with his legs and from within the pocket. And so he's going to help himself out this year. I'm going to say bust. I hate to be a negative guy here, but I'm going to go. I'll go New England. I'll go Drake May. I just don't know about their situation there. With you're trying to, obviously, Tom's been gone for a few years. Now Bill is left, and you got a young football head coach there, and Gerard Mayo. What does that situation look like? They don't have the best weapons around him either. So will they be able to upgrade those weapons? And they were just a complete disaster with Mac Jones. I mean, they didn't help him out at all. I mean, from going from a good rookie season to, the things that they did and the coaches that they hired around him and their plan for him was just absolutely awful. So I'll stay there in New England and be like the curse of Tom Brady.
But you pick Bo Nix. That's such a homer pick.
Stoke,
Yeah.
in Stokes' defense, like he'll quick bash the Broncos
No, I know he
too.
will.
Look, I'm gonna keep it real with the Broncos, but I like what I've seen. I think they're moving in the right direction.
Well, one of the big problems you have is you got to play that fella up there in Kansas City a couple of times a year, and they didn't get any worse. By the way, they brought in that receiver from Texas.
Xavier Worthy.
My God, he's the fastest human on the planet. I mean, they're going to be a massive problem. I wouldn't be one bit surprised if they win their third Super Bowl in a row.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, they're always in it. You got Mahomes, you got Kelsey, you got Andy Reid, and their defense has been better. It doesn't get enough credit because you talk about Mahomes and Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift, right? And so, but they got a pretty darn good defense and a great defensive coordinator. But you're right. They made that trade for where they picked up Hollywood Brown, and then they got Xavier Worthy. So they're adding to those receivers who last year it didn't seem like they could catch the ball at all. And next thing you know, they're still winning the Super Bowl. So they're winners, and that's what they've done. So yeah, it's going to be it's tough division for the Broncos because you're going to have to deal with Mahomes for a long time.
Jackpot, Kansas City.
As long as 15 is under center in Kansas City, they're gonna be. I don't care who they trot out there at receiver or anything. He's that special. Stoke, you pissed off any players on the radio lately? I know you've had some good beefs over the year. Who Melvin Gordon was one. Who else did you have? You've had a couple. You got any new ones?
Upset one time. We had him on. He got upset. We made up. We're good.
Okay.
But no, I don't try to make anyone upset, Drew. I just try to have fun and just be positive and optimistic.
That is exactly what you do.
Positive Stoke. I love it.
That's right. That's who I am.
On the most important note here, have you negotiated a Manning cast appearance for this coming season? I feel like as a best friend of Peyton, the one guy missing from this thing, they've had people on from across the spectrum, but no Stoke.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like one of those things where, my Mondays, usually Monday nights for me are very busy. And so I've been tied up, for what is it going like year 3 or 4 now? I mean, like how many years before I get a cameo? I get some kind of like, just at least an invite. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a little bit depressing. Because I look up and I see like Eli has like Sean O'Hare on, like
Sean O'Hare.
Sean O'Hare. Goodness, like he played offensive line. Like we go like Peyton, So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's been it's like episode. I mean, like 4 years and not even an invite. It's like but. It's like Jerry Rice and Patrick Mahomes and, Condoleezza Rice. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe by year 10, I'll finally make the cut. I don't know.
Yeah. They've gone through a lot of the big names. You got to be coming up soon. You're in the on-deck circle. You got to be.
Round 2, and then after round 2 of all the big names, maybe, I get on the list.
You got to be.
They got to have you on, man. That would be so much fun with how well you and Peyton know each other, how close y'all are. I mean, the banter back and forth would be all time.
Yeah, I mean, I think so also, but I guess, one person doesn't think so.
I guess because it's
Omaha Productions.
Yes.
He must not think very highly of me.
Yeah, I mean, it's his show, and he got quite a bit of dirt on him.
That could be why.
He could do whatever he wants, right? I mean, it's all him. So
it's true.
I don't know.
Aren't you caddying for him in the Pro-Am?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Oh,
Save
okay.
that.
All
Save
right,
that.
time out on that. But right, well,
save that.
Just put a pin in that.
Let's go to the E9. I'll just
put
open
a pin in it.
I'll open it up with that right there because did get word from the good friend of yours, Peyton Manning. You were going to be on the bag during the Pro-Am at the BMW Championship. First off, I thought you were a legend in Denver and you'd actually be playing in the Pro-Am, not caddying.
Should be.
Again, didn't get the invite to play.
Damn.
So it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield. Of Denver, I guess. But look, I'm and like I don't know if I really would want to play, honestly. I sometimes, like Drew said earlier, he's making fun of my golf game. I got those snap hooks. And I would hate to hit one in the gallery and just take someone out. I almost killed Drew. We talked about it last time. Almost killed Drew. Like I think it might have been the first time we ever met. Hit a little low stinger that just got away from me a little bit and almost took out his ankle. So I would prefer not to play. I'm gonna caddy. I'm gonna have a great time. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. So I can't wait to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. Peyton did say that he was going to that he did get like a one of those Pro Ryder Cup golf bags, the big ones. And so he did say he was going to break that out for me. And so I have to carry around that. And he's going to load it up with a bunch of golf balls. So last time I did caddy for him was at the AT&T. And this might have been 2000, a long time ago. And I've never raked so many bunkers in my life. The weather was absolutely awful. I felt like I was playing receiver for him. He was yelling at me every other hole to grab his rain gear. Where's my umbrella? And then all of a sudden the sun would come out. He's throwing the rain gear down. I'm like 50, 75 yards behind our group. I'm trying to get everything together. I think it was Mickelson behind us. I don't know how to rake bunkers properly. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mickelson's going to yell at me. I'm not raking this thing right. They're all the way up. Peyton's yelling at me about the umbrella. I mean, it was a complete disaster. I said, bro, I told him the last day, we played Pebble on the last day. I said, if you go into another damn bunker, I'm out. I quit. I'm done. I was tired of raking bunkers. So I'm just hoping that I don't have to rake 20 bunkers in the Pro-Am.
Well, he knows you well because basically he texted me that exact same story. He goes, this is what he's going to say about caddy. He's going to throw me under the bus for hitting all these bunkers.
Exactly. It was awful. It was terrible.
Stoke, what's y'all's game when you play on the course? You and Peyton, what's the game? What are the strokes?
Well, he'll give me about 6. I'll get about 6 from him, 5 or 6, somewhere right around there. And we will usually just do an 18-hole match play. Close out, press for half when you're closed out.
Mm-hmm. So he's like a 3 or 4-ish.
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
I think he's like a 5. I think it's 5.5. So maybe it's only 4 shots now.
Yeah, you're getting better. You're trending. You're trending. I cannot wait to see you out there.
But I'll tell you about him, bro. I mean, like, this guy, every time we play, like, you can never count him out of a hole. Never, ever, right? You don't think, like, I got this, he's chipping from a bad lie or he's got a 40-footer for par. He always makes one of those putts. He always chips it from the woods or something when you think he's done, And so, like, that's the mindset you have to have when you're playing golf with Peyton.
Yeah, you guys got a lot in common. Two lost balls.
Heart.
Yeah,
a lot of heart. You're right.
Yeah, just gonna let groups play through. All right, so get to your playing career a little bit. You're not getting enough respect for your playing career. Which of the following terms describes you best as a player? Okay, lunch pail guy, high IQ guy, gym rat, or sneaky fast? Which would you say you are?
Sneaky fast.
Yeah.
Sneaky fast. I love those. Glue guy, coach on the field.
Coach's
coach on the
son.
field, right? Yeah, all of those. I like that. Those are good.
That's you.
What was lunch pail guy?
Yeah, lunch pail guy. He just shows up every day for work.
Shows
No
up
days
with
off.
his hard hat, ready
No
to go
days
to
off.
work. Going to be a good teammate, good team guy, good locker room guy.
Yeah. But you weren't fast. You were sneaky fast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just not fast.
Yeah.
More quick than fast. But yeah, a sneaky fast there.
Okay. I just want to clear that up.
All right. Next one, because we talked a little UFC earlier. You and Sleeze going to the octagon.
Oof.
What's the result of that match? And how do you end it, you think? I'm guessing you're going to say you're going to win.
I'll tell you how it ends.
Yeah. I think like probably under 30 seconds. I'm going right away at those straight legs. I'm going for the legs. I'm going to do the takedown. And then I'm going to use, like we talked, I got a little bit extra weight on me right now. and that's just going to be on top of them, just wearing them out. And then I'm going to get that neck, and I'm just going to just choke them out. And it's probably be about 30 seconds or so. But the bulk is just going to be too much for him. I'm going to overwhelm him, and I'm going to take him to the mat, and he doesn't have a chance on the mat.
Go at the legs. Love that.
We're gonna have to meet. We're gonna have to meet at a catch weight. If you can't make 185 on the high side, I can't make it. I don't know that I can get there, so we're gonna have to figure something out. But I just keep him on his feet, and I just body bag him.
You got to get up to 205. Bud.
I mean, yeah, but no drug testing. I mean, there's probably ways for me to get there, but it ain't gonna be legal.
Do you wear the long socks in the octagon?
Yeah, I'm probably
like from the golf course.
I'm probably full tights in the octagon if I had to make a guess. I'm definitely not like the little spandex. Yeah, like old school, high school wrestling.
That's it.
Yeah, maybe something like that. But yeah, I'd keep us on his feet. It'd make it just a hands contest, and he couldn't get inside of those little short ass arms, dude. He could never hit me.
Love it.
All right, next one, Stoke. I said your nickname earlier, which is one of the great nicknames, by the way, the slot machine. You got to pass that moniker on to somebody that's in the league right now. Who is worthy to be called the slot machine?
Oh, wow. I like this one. Hunter Renfrow had some great years there with the Raiders, and I don't know what's happened to him the last couple of years, but he was, what was it like? It was like third in Renfrow, what his name was.
Yeah.
And then you look at, I don't know who are the really good slot receivers right now
Cooper.
that are still, that are in the league, now that, Walker's been gone for a while, Edelman, I think Danny Amendola. Who are the really good ones right now? The great
Cooper Kupp.
I don't think
play in this? Does he play in the slot? I mean, he's outside, but he's still in there.
He's like I think to be like a slot receiver, you gotta spend. You can't be like a true starter.
Cole Beasley was up there.
Beasley was nice. Beasley was nice for a while. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Cole Beasley. SMU Mustang.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Cole Beasley did his thing, obviously with Dallas and Buffalo, and he was. But I'm trying to think now, like who are the true slot receivers? Like they move you around so much with these motions and stuff, and like you're talking about Cooper Kupp and with the Rams, and obviously he's a starter, but he spends a lot of time inside and with those motions and all those things. So it's a little bit different, a lot different than when I play. You see the Dolphins and how they do those motions, those short, quick motions with Tyreek and Waddle. So I'm just trying to think, though, like who the, true slot receivers are. It's kind of, I don't know.
All right.
Renfro's a good one. Renfro's good. He didn't have it last year because they weren't scoring any points. I mean, they weren't really moving the ball, but he's super. He also sneaky fast, I would say, him, and also high IQ.
Yeah, I've heard he's a great teammate, too, and great in the locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next one. You got to take your entire net worth, and you're putting it on this golf match. Peyton versus Eli.
Ooh.
I'm going Peyton. Like I said, that guy's clutch. I've never golfed. I don't think I've ever golfed with Eli. When I spent 3 weeks with the Giants, Eli didn't talk to me much, and so I'm going with Peyton. He's clutch. He's going to make a couple plays, and I don't know about Eli's golf game.
I played with him a few months ago, and he's got some game. I believe him and Peyton play even. But it'd be a good match. It'd be fun to watch.
Wow.
But
okay. Yeah, I'm still going. I'm still going Peyton.
Going with your guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fair enough. Here's one last one on your boy. What number is higher, do you think, for your good friend Peyton Manning? Career touchdown passes or quarter zips owned? And I'll tell you, he has 557 career touchdown passes.
It's definitely quarter zip owned. I mean, because this guy, he's gone with those forever. It's been that way for a long, long time, and obviously you see it on the Manning cast and things like that. But it's got to be the quarter zips.
Yeah, every commercial, everything. Can't catch him. I don't care if it's 92 or 48.
How many touchdowns does he have?
557.
Yeah, probably well over 1,000 of those. Probably Peter Millar quarter zip up there.
Yep. I think that's right.
all right, my last one, very simple. Give me the Super Bowl matchup this coming year, and who's your champion?
Okay. I'm going to go with San Fran, right? I think they get back. They take care. I think Ayuk they're gonna re-sign Ayuk. I don't think they're gonna let him walk or trade him. I think they get Trent Williams squared up. And so I'm gonna go San Francisco in the NFC, and I can't go Kansas City again in the AFC. Let's go Buffalo. I'm gonna go Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
I think, obviously not ideal. Stephon Diggs, the receiving group is not quite the same. But it's like, gosh, they're going to take that next step. Buffalo or Cincinnati, I think, Burrow can stay healthy. I'll go with one of those two teams. But I'll lean more towards Buffalo here. And then I got San Francisco 1-0. Finally ready to take that next step and get that Super Bowl. And so, obviously being here in Denver, Kyle Shanahan from here, Christian McCaffrey, that would be really cool to see San Francisco do it.
There you have it. Buffalo, San Fran. Put all your money on that. And if it doesn't hit, at Brandon Stokley on Twitter. All right, last one, Stoke. With as soft as the NFL has become, like since your playing days, you got the kickoff change now. We got the can't hit the quarterback. Would you like to see it go back to the good old days where guys could just slap referees during the game?
Who would do that? I mean, who would ever put their hands on a referee?
Yeah, I know. You got to be a lunatic.
I mean, you got to be an absolute lunatic to do that. It was like it was incidental contact, and like I grazed the guy's finger because he stuck his hand out at the last second as I was like doing that, and he could have just done nothing about it. Like he didn't have to draw attention to it. No one saw it, and then he makes the biggest deal about it, and I get ejected out of the game. And my kids thought I was getting arrested, and it wasn't a good phone call home to the wife. Just sitting in the locker room, that was really weird the whole game. And that wasn't a pleasant phone call home. The game, man, the game is, I wish I played in this era where you don't have to worry about going over the middle anymore. And, having John Lynch, back there, like John was just looking to take your head off. And so you can't do that anymore. And so, like, playing receiver is so much easier. Obviously, you want to protect the quarterbacks. You can't, like, the NFL is a bad product without, good quarterback play. So you got to protect the quarterback. But, man, some of these penalties that they're throwing on roughing the passer and unnecessary roughness, and it's just crazy because, it's these suits, they sit up here in their office and they're like, and they're slow-moing the video and rewinding it, and you can't lead with your head and all these different things. But football is not played like that. I feel bad for defenders. It's hard to play defense in today's NFL. And then all of a sudden, like, it's not just like, hey, don't do that, you got a penalty. It's like a penalty plus like $50,000. Then you do it again, and, you try to lower your head to tackle someone, and the receiver lowers his head and it's helmet to helmet, and you're getting – a $50,000 fine. I hate to see it. And I get it. They're trying to protect players and make the game safer, but still, football is a violent sport, and that's just the way it is. And so I don't like the way it's going and where it's going. I hope these guardian caps end up being a good thing, maybe to help guys out a little bit. But like, we love football for its physicality and its violence to a certain degree, and you can't take it all away. Right. And so that's where I have an issue.
I hear you. I'm with you. The game has definitely changed. But more importantly, do you think you'll beat Sleeze out of more money in gin than your fine was for slapping the referee?
Probably not.
I don't got it like that.
Unfortunately. Well, because I had it and I forgot how much it was. I think it might have been like $15,000, right? Maybe 20. And then so I peeled it, right? Because it was incidental contact, and I peeled it, and they cut it in half. They cut it in half, so I'm not expecting to win that much from Drew. I do consider him a friend, so I'd like to hurt him a little bit, the pocketbooks a little bit, but not too much. I don't want it to affect him the next day. We're going to have a good trip, and so, but I do want him to feel a little.
I love it.
Yeah, no hard feelings no matter what. We're going to team up on Friday to play some golf.
Yeah, but please text me the results of the gin game because I need that.
Absolutely. If I win, I'll text you.
Okay.
If you don't hear from me, then we just probably didn't play.
All right. Well, Stoke, man, we really appreciate it. Always fun catching up with you.
Y'all have had a lot more fun last time when we were able to sip on some stuff and just so next time I'm coming in studio, so we do it up that way. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
You got it.
Love you, Stoke.
All right, that was two-time Super Bowl champion Brandon Stokley joining us. Sleeze, I reached out to him after y'all's little trip at Castle Pines. Said no gin happened, but you might not have been the best roommate when you stayed over at his house.
He's so full of shit, dude. You know him well enough now to know you believe, like, whatever he says, chop about 90% of it as just complete bullshit. And then the other 10 is like, there's some truth somewhere in the middle there. I was a fantastic roommate. I was spectacular to his entire family. We had a great time out there.
What
I will
about
say
his dog?
his dog is loud. Dog's very territorial. That dog woke up half the neighborhood when I showed up at that place. Also, it should be noted, with all I was talking about his caddying, arguably the worst caddy in the history. I caught him out there during the round. He had to carry the bag like a suitcase, like a briefcase, because his shoulder hurts. Then his shoulder got to hurting so bad. The next hole I saw him, just some kid was carrying the bag, and Stokley was just walking next to him, not even actually carrying the bag. So I don't want to hear anything about him being tough. I want to, tough guy, strong guy. His body, it does have some miles on it. He's got some off-road mileage for playing in the league for a while, but I mean, still walking around 18 holes. And he didn't get the best out of Peyton either.
Yeah, Peyton topped it right out of the gate. But I do.
Yeah.
I love it. We've already told that story on here. It was great, but I love sitting down with him, man. He's hilarious, and he knows his football, and as do we, I believe, because we're giving you football picks because, well, golf is starting back now, so we could actually do a golf pick. But I think with our last few days, our prep's probably not that great. So I'm just going to go with Scythe Thagala as far as golf goes because he likes that place and he's a defending champion. But my football pick did hit last week. I had the Chargers over the Raiders. They took care of business. This week, Sleeze, this one hurts a little bit because I've become a fan of this team, but I'm taking the Bucks over the Detroit Lions. Okay, the Bucks are catching 7, and Baker Mayfield is balling right now.
Wow.
I like what I see. I think this is going to be a great game, but given Baker Mayfield the way he's going right now, 7 points, I like that.
They are good. That's that game, the Lions-Rams game was awesome this past week too, but they're going. Baker also got paid. Things are going well for him. How about this? This is the most Browns thing of all time. As they get rid of Baker, he turns into a world beater. They signed Deshaun for $1 trillion, and he turns into the worst quarterback in the league. They're just cursed.
Yeah, it's not good up there.
It ain't good up there.
Bring back DA.
Yeah, dude. Jameis about to be starting here pretty soon. All right, give my golf pick. Same type of deal as you. I'm gonna go with one of the 6 President's Cuppers that's gonna be playing in this thing. I feel like Corey Connors could come alive here. I think he's high up on the betting board. He's in the top 5. Getting ready, obviously, for Montreal. So give me Corey Connors over there at the Pro-Core, excuse me, not the Fortinet anymore, Pro-Core. And then football, staying hot. By the way, Tennessee just put the wood like 51 to something.
Yeah, they're good.
That was an easy one. I'm going to do a thing that I don't normally like to do, which is take good teams as huge favorites. But Michigan, but I'm going to do it because I think this is the right time. Michigan coming off a little drumming from the Texas Longhorns at home. They're good. They're not great. Quarterback needs some work, but they're playing at home against Arkansas State the week after a loss. I think they just score and keep scoring and try to look as pretty as they can to get back in the good graces of everyone. So Michigan minus 22 and a hook. Don't like doing it, but I'm going to do it.
Tell you what, Texas might be back.
I think it's been like a decade of being back, but I actually feel like this team is one they're back.
All right. Well, sorry about being out a day late, but we got it to y'all. We're ready to rock. And hey, one last thing. I just want to take a little shot at Apple because I don't know what the hell happened the other day. But we're in Nashville. I forgot to charge my phone that night. Wake up next morning, plug it in. It goes from 4% to 10%, then just stops charging completely. I tried 100 different chargers, did all kinds of things. Nothing. Took it to the Apple store. They're like, yeah, your phone's fried, dude. You got to get a new one. Cost me like $1,200. Absolutely ridiculous. Now I lost all my text messages and all my apps, and I feel really lost right now, Sleeze.
Damn, dude.
Blame Apple because, obviously when they get the new phones coming out, all their old shit goes to shit. And
that is true. They time it up so that your shit breaks right before the new stuff comes out or right after warranty. But what kind of Google searches you putting in this thing to fry an iPhone, dog? These things are powerful.
The thing just stopped.
Oh my
It was
God.
charging for a little bit, then all of a sudden just gone. It would not charge. I'm like, this is bullshit.
It's probably best that thing's in the grave, dude. Put a hole in it, drill a hole through it, whatever you got to do to delete that thing. It must have some darkness on it.
Fucking Apple. Whatever. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. We're going to head up to Kohler, play a little Whistling Straits, probably go extremely low.
Be shocked if we didn't.
That's what we do. We're really prepared.
Be super shocked if we didn't make a lot of birdies on that golf course.
All right. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll talk to you next week.